Now, which console should I destroy today? Yeah, no, better not. Oh, yeah, it's already destroyed. I know. This obviously planted Xbox. The Xbox was well known as being the biggest, heaviest, most power-hungry console anybody had ever seen. So what better console to make into a handheld? But judging by somebody not being bothered to put the screws back in and putting an error message on the top in my handwriting, I think we're going to be giving this thing some love before we give it some portability. I suppose we'll see if it turns on first. If it's going to do what I think it's going to do, then at least it'll power up. And this X up here means it's got a mod of some kind, which should make part of this a bit easier. Oh, there we go. Okay, we've got service required. Call customer support. I don't think that's going to help. We've got this 07 up in the top left though. That's our error code. That means the hard drive timed out. If that's the only thing that's wrong with this, it might actually not be hard to fix. Under the top, we've got our DVD drive and our hard drive. Even though error 7's a hard drive timeout, it might still not be the hard drive. Both these drives are on the same IDE cable, so that could be affected. The DVD drive could also interfere with the signal and give a hard drive error. And of course, I guess it's possible that the hard drive's just not getting the right power. Except the voltages are fine, and the IDE cable didn't fix it either. This is a weird looking IDE cable. I haven't seen one quite like this before, but it is brand new. Next, I've got a bit of a strange setup with an extra power supply connected to a PC DVD drive. One of the connectors still has to be connected to the Xbox drive, but I've got the data connected to the PC drive. This doesn't work just as a plug and play solution to play retail games, but it should work for testing purposes. Whoa, this is the first time I've heard that hard drive spin up. Is it gonna work? Hey, it works! Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, we are. So we've got a bad DVD drive causing a hard drive error. And of course, what portable Xbox is complete without a DVD drive, so we're gonna fix this. What's in here? Wow, this thing comes apart really easily. It's just 4 screws and then all the things I need to get out come out. With the PCB out the way, you can see the back of the optical pickup here. The disc sits under here this way, and there's a motor here spinning this worm drive to line up the pickup with what part of the disc it wants to read. On the top, we've got a spindle that spins the disc, and here you can see the lens for the optical pickup. There's a laser in here which shoots through some reflective thingamajigs straight up to the disc, bounces straight back down again, then gets directed off somewhere else to a sensor which reads the flash codes coming back. The data lines are made up of reflective and not reflective bits, so the reflected laser beam is the data stream. But I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at this. I have read that these tiny little resistor arrays here in the Samsung drives like to fail. So I just need to measure every single one of them and hope that I get the value written on the top. This particular one should be 33 ohms. It says 330 on the top, with 33 being the value and 0 being the 10 times multiplier. So we times it by 10 0 times. If that said 333, it would be 33,000 ohms. And as I was getting right near the end, losing hope that this was actually the issue, I came across this guy. This should measure 82 ohms and it measures 9.4 thousand ohms. The next one, another 82 ohm resistor, measures 882 ohms. So that guy's coming out, and you can see how much of a tiny little component can just bring the whole system down. And I don't have another one of these either, but I do have 4 of these, and together they are functionally the same as that tiny little broken idiot. The difficulty is just in attaching them. But I reckon I've succeeded, and that means we get to use our very first bit of hot glue. You can't leave these things floating in midair. They really don't like hanging off those surface mount solder points. Let's try again, shall we? Yes, it's working! I mean, it hasn't read a disc yet, but it's got a bit further than it did last time. Now you might be thinking this dashboard looks a little bit different to what you remember, and that's because this is a custom Gametronics dashboard. Apparently this is Australian exclusive, and even has background music. I'm hoping that's not copyright. I might just turn that down. The Gametronics team seems to be long gone, and I actually had a lot of trouble figuring out what mod chip was in this when I first got it, and I needed to know because to make this portable, we're gonna have to change the hard drive. Having a mod chip makes that way easier to do. In any case, let's see if we can actually read a disc. Oh, come on. Open. Please open. There we go. Can we read a disc? I hope it does. It does! Oh, I'm so happy! Obviously I didn't have to put this back together, but I wanted to give it one last chance of being a complete Xbox before it becomes a complete catastrophe. So, I guess it's time to rip its guts out. I want to make this as small as I possibly can, so everything unnecessary has got to go. Huge pieces of plastic like this, gone. Gone. The old IDE cable, bigger than it needs to be. Gone. I do need some of this front panel, but I can't get at it yet. There we go. This part, this is pretty much all we need. That's the power and eject button. Look at the size of this stuff. We don't need this. It's gone. I'm not actually going to use this power supply, but I do need to use it for some testing, so we'll just be gentle with that. There's about 1 million screws in the motherboard that I got to take out. But once they're all out, the motherboard still doesn't... there's another screw. The motherboard comes... oh, it's still plugged in, be unplugged. And nothing else in here is important. Look how much smaller the Xbox is already. So on here, we've got a lot of dust. Got a bunch of capacitors, which actually look like they might have been changed at some point. Under this heatsink, we've got our GPU. Under this one, we've got our CPU. It's around about a Pentium 3, one whole core. We've got some RAM here. The NVIDIA South Bridge, which manages all of the inputs and outputs and things. This chip handles the power buttons, power lights, powering up out of standby, blah, blah, blah. Network controller, and the guy that makes the video signals. On the back, we've got a couple more RAM chips, a chip that has something to do with the 5 volts, and here's our game mod chip. It has the same X logo as the boot screen and says GTX V1.0 up here. This thing's gonna make my life so much easier. This hard drive is huge, heavy, it's got a spinny guy in it. These don't like being moved around when they're working. But compact flash cards actually communicate in exactly the same way as these old IDE hard drives do. The connector's obviously completely different, but you only need a passive converter, and this compact flash drive will work exactly the same as this hard drive did. Look, if I pull this shield off, come on, come off. Go away. You can see there are no chips on this thing at all. It's purely wiring. So the first thing I need to do is prepare this card to be used in an Xbox because it's not normal formatting. But the only PC that I've got that has the right connection to plug this into is this one. So this is how we're gonna be doing the hard drive formatting. The program to use for this is called Fat Explorer. The original hard drives are locked to the system. Having a mod chip circumvents that, so you don't need a locked hard drive anymore. But even then, Windows can't read an Xbox hard drive by default. And for some reason, it thinks that my CF card is too small to use for an Xbox. The minimum's supposed to be 7.45 gig, but my CF card is exactly 7.45 gig. Is it gonna be wrong by 1 byte or something? Yay! All I had to do was use a completely different compact flash card, and now the continue button is behind the start bar. Slight issue with using an arcade machine as a PC is that the resolution is limited to 800 by 600. Although the fact that I've actually got more than 640 by 480 is kind of a miracle. After formatting the drive, I made a backup of the other hard drive and then copied all the other hard drive contents to the new one, except the 100 gig of pirated games, because I'm all about originals. I really hope this works, because if it doesn't, not really sure. Yeah, this is off the CF card, so the CF card's working perfectly. The next thing that needs to be made smaller is the DVD drive. I think I can make a big difference to this guy. The housing's definitely gonna go. That's a keep. Most of the top cover's gonna go, but I need to keep this white thing. Ah, there we go. Because this thing is magnetic and it holds the disc in place. Next, I really wish I'd ejected this before I started taking it apart. I think these gears down here might have something to do with it. Hey, there we go. And there are a couple of clips down in these holes here, and that comes straight out and goes on the floor. This little belt here is actually the reason why I had to hit it to get it to eject before. They get old and start slipping. You can actually replace this through the front without even taking the Xbox apart, but I'm not even going to have an eject mechanism. That's all part of the getting rid of things that I'm doing now. This piece here, this piece here is about as small as I can get the DVD drive to be. I mean, other than the PCB. I'm going to remove this board here that's... There we go. I'm not going to use this piece at all, but it has the switches on it which tell the Xbox whether the tray is open or closed. I need the Xbox to think it's closed all the time. Quite usefully, this is labeled close on this side and open on this side. So all I have to do is make sure the switch actually closes the circuit when you push it. Sometimes you'll get a normally closed switch which will open the circuit when you push it. Then have a look at which pin it's connected to. So this connector can go away, and a solder blob just here should make it work. You just got deleted. At least if this disc starts spinning, then that's true. Yes. Hey, it goes backwards first. That's interesting. This whole rest of everything, well, that's taking up too much space, isn't it? The biggest thing that I have to overcome before I can turn this into a giant steaming pile of masterful artwork is that this power supply has to go. This board takes the 240 volts mains that we've got here in Australia and spits out several voltages to run the different parts of this. The most difficult part of getting rid of this is that it has a standby voltage which powers up just the standby circuit in the Xbox until you push the power button, and then it powers up the rest of the power supply to boot the Xbox properly. Having a standby voltage is not ideal for batteries. It's just going to run them flat the whole time, Windows laptops. And ideally, I just want this thing to boot up off one switch. With the switch off, no power anywhere. With the switch on, batteries connected, thing turns on. Thankfully for me, Red Herring 32 has written a guide on how to do exactly that. However, there are several versions of the Xbox motherboard, and their guide only supports the 121 model. Of course, this Xbox is actually the 121 model. I didn't plan that in any way when I started doing this. It's just, I'm very happy. So to delete the standby function, I have to remove a whole bunch of components, run a couple of jumper wires, and hopefully that'll work. Beep. I should unplug these things before I touch them. Beep. It's not even plugged in. It's just charged capacitors biting me. So now before I put another power supply in this, I've jumpered this one so that it's always on. That's what this wire used to do. And hopefully, as soon as I plug this in, the power will come on and the console will boot. Well, that didn't work. Okay, so apparently holding the power button while you plug the power in makes it boot now. I don't actually know whether it did that before or not, but I guess that means if I bridge these two connections, then it'll just turn on when I want it to. Did it work? It did! Hopefully having the power button stuck on all the time doesn't cause problems later. But anyway, now we can get rid of the power supply. You go away. Oh, there's a stool there. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether this is going to be useful, but I've got this weird iPod video dock thing that got ruined by a shouty man. I figure it's got a screen, it's got speakers, and it's got batteries. Those are all things that I'm going to need from a portable Xbox, although it doesn't have AV input, so hopefully it's using AV from the iPod to here and I can intercept that and do things and things. I'm also hoping the battery works, because I don't know if it does, and I've actually had this plugged in for quite a while and it's not turning on, but it might still be useful. Oh, that came off very fast. What's under here? Anything? Nothing really helpful. You can see the speakers now though. She'd always use the correct tool for the job, and the correct tool for this job is a screwdriver, so I guess I'm doing the right thing. Will it open yet? Is that enough screwdrivering? Hey, look at that. The plastic's made of nothing. Very easy to open. Okay, so the batteries haven't been used since 2006, but fingers crossed. Come on, probably perfectly good batteries. You'll be perfectly good, won't you? How many volts have you got? 0.0. Okay. It flashes the charge light for 1 millisecond. Maybe it's noticing that the batteries are too flat to use and actively deciding not to charge them. I've just peeled the ends off so I can measure the actual cell itself. Yes, it's not good. It's not very good. I feel like there's some kind of charge something in here that's stopping these from charging. Because I just plugged this into my benchtop power supply and it drew 0 current, which is pretty much saying the batteries aren't connected to these wires. Yeah, there's a PCB in here. Okay, the second battery is just connected straight to the batteries. This one though has a little circuit board. It's probably a battery management system of some kind. I'm just going to temporarily delete that battery management system, then wire all the batteries together and hopefully set this charging off my power supply. We're getting a bit of current flow now. I'm gonna go for about 1/4 amp this time. I don't need any stinky explosions. Let's see if the rest of this thing has anything useful at all. Alright, so this is a jack board, I guess because it's got jacks on it. And this one's a power board. It'd be really nice if this outputs the voltages the Xbox needs, but I suspect the current capability may not be up to it. We've got 8 ohm, 1.5 watt speakers, so I guess we're going for 3 watts total. For reference, your car radio usually outputs 55 watts per speaker. Oh, look at all these bits of metal that I just made. I mean, I didn't make them, I just ruined them. Oh, it's not a good LCD. This is a fluorescent backlight. That's not the low-powered device I was hoping for. But yeah, I guess LED technology wasn't that great in 2006. Alright, let's see if we can turn it on when it's in bits. Yeah! Oh, that's a low-res thing. Alright, I'd like to try this with an iPod, but I don't have an iPod that's suitable for this. But looking at the pinout online, there are 3 possibilities that could be analog video into this guy, and if it's not those, well, this screen might have to go in the bin. I'm hoping this beeps somewhere along here. It doesn't. Great. That one does. So that's part of the S-video output. The previous one has to be connected to. It is! Okay, so there's S-video coming straight out of this connector into this screen. Composite video is the old yellow AV plug, and S-video is the next step up from that. It uses extra wires for extra video quality. I've just gone through and figured out what all of these wires on this ribbon cable do, and I found 2 separate grounds, which is a bit strange, but I'm about to connect them together and see what happens. I'm hoping it's a signal line so that it knows when there's an iPod plugged in, or I might just destroy the whole thing. I've got a video signal coming out of the end of this probe. It's not really the correct video signal, but I'm gonna poke it in there anyway and hopefully it wakes this thing up. Oh my gosh! I film in a frickin' tin shed and that roof is so loud when the birds drop stuff off the tree. Oh! the picture is messed up because, like I said, it's not really the ideal picture for this. This is expecting S video, and I'm only giving it composite video, so it's sort of there-ish. Oh, wow. These batteries were on charge for a whole day, and then they were off charge for like 4 days. And look at that. These are 3.7 volt batteries. They got 3.64 volts in them. I reckon these batteries have come back to life. How long they'll run an Xbox for remains to be seen, but they should at least run for more than no time. And on top of that, my new low voltage power supply finally turned up in the mail. This is a 300 watt Pico PSU. It says De Broglie on it. It's designed to run a PC off 12 volts, and even though it can actually kind of plug into the Xbox connector, the Xbox is wired differently to a PC, and I guess I want this connector to go away anyway. Wow, this is harder to break than I thought it would be. Oh, there we go. And I think now the last thing we need is a controller. This one will do. The modern handheld design seems to be controls on the ends of the screen, so I want to try and achieve that if I can. Ooh, I'm the first one in here. Let's see how portable this is. On this side, we've got 2 different sized vibration motors, one for little vibrations and one for the big vibrations. They just spin these concentric weights around, which makes it go blah, 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 blah. And somehow the smaller one needs higher rated wiring than the bigger one. Got our L and R triggers here, which turn little potentiometers here, or I don't know, maybe they're rotary encoders, I don't really care. Let's rip this out. Other side, we've got some pretty filthy, dusty sticks here. One of the memory card slots, and the other memory card slots on the bottom. Why did they need 2 memory card slots on a console that had a built-in hard drive that all of the games save to? And that's not just 2 memory card slots, that's 2 memory card slots per controller. So you can connect 8 memory cards to the Xbox. Most people never even saw a memory card. Hey, where's the chip that runs the thing? Ah, there it is. Oh, wow. Looking up the part number, it's just an off-the-shelf AVR microcontroller with a built-in USB hub. I really expected some custom chip, but I guess they just went for what was available. Well, that was the easy part. I can't just slice down the middle of this or it won't work again. I have to carefully choose a path to cut along. And that's not even my normal careful. This is like proper actually paying attention. Look, I only used the angle grinder for half of it. That's how careful I have to be. Oops. Well, I wasn't quite ready for that, but there we go. Look at this. This will go on here somehow, I suppose. Here, maybe here-ish? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. One thing's for sure though, is I've got a lot of wires to connect together. Whew. Well, that should be connected again, except I shouldn't have started by cutting off the cable because now I don't know for sure. I'm starting to get sick of prep work now, so I might just start chucking some stuff together, shall I? I need a bit of huge chunks of hot glue all around the place here. I think we'll put the screen somewhere up there. Probably, I don't know, here? Yeah, all right, that's a screen. That's there. Oh look, I got hot glue on the screen, that's good. And immediately I've covered up the connections for the AV ports, so hopefully I can get to them from the other side. More hot glue, this board's gonna go, I guess it has to go here because the ribbon cable is very short. I'm trying to let the hot glue be an insulating layer between these boards and the motherboard. Hopefully that's successful. Ow, 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 ow. Hot glue is hot. More hot glue. This bit here has some pretty high voltages on it, so I guess I'll just extra hot glue it to make sure that they don't do any jumping. Jumping high voltages are not friendly. Ow, 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 ow. Now for the controller, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to attach it, but I reckon I need to probably put some slots so the motherboard can go into the controllers. And the other one has a memory card slot there, but I guess one memory card slot's gonna be enough. Oh, I've got an Ethernet port in the way. Well, here's what we do with things that are in the way. We make them not in the way. I said, no, they're not in the way. Oh, and the AV port too. No! I was just doing a bit of additional trimming and I've cut through 2 of my wires. I said I was sick of prep work. Alright, finally. Hot glue, hot glue. I like hot glue. Hot glue glues all the things. I really hope this works. Now I need to connect the controller to this controller port connector. Except it's not behaving. I want it to come off. Here's what plugging in the controller looks like. I don't need any of the connections on this power supply. I can make this much smaller. Ow, ow, that's hot. Ooh, slight regrets after using the angle grinder to cut those connectors off. I almost completely obliterated one of the traces here, but I don't think it's an important one. I reckon we're good. I've decided I'm not going to use any of the power management from this iPod thingamajig. It's just not really compatible with this power supply. I'm not going to be able to pull enough current from the 12 volts on this thing. So I've gotten rid of the charge connector, power switch which was already doing nothing. The charge lights can go, and no more battery connector either. I can't be bothered figuring out which other bits are part of that, so the rest can stay. But I've decided to reconfigure the battery packs and use some other battery management system that I've had kicking around for ages. If you connect the positive and the negative together on batteries, you get the original voltage, in this case 3.7 volts, but you can draw twice as much current out of them. If you connect two batteries end to end, with the positive and negative connected together in the middle, you get double the voltage, in this case 7.4, but you don't increase the amount of current you can draw. Basically, in parallel, more current. In series, more voltage. But as long as they're even, you can also do combinations, some in parallel and some in series. So you can get more voltage and more current. With two groups of 3 batteries, was outputting 7.4 volts at an amount of current I don't know what these are rated at. And it's hailing now, so if you can hear clicking in the background, that's just ice falling on my roof. The thing is, I needed 12 volts to run this power supply, and this configuration provides 11.1, so it's close enough. Oh, I'm pretty much just putting stuff wherever it fits now. Somewhere there, might even be able to use these ports on here still. Although I think that board is solely held up by capacitors. Yeah, that goes there. Oh no, this is not the plug that goes there. That goes in, oh, I might still, I don't know, I might have stuffed everything up. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I've used alternate points to save myself from trying to solder to this ribbon connector here, but this is my AV cable. Thankfully, I did remember to write down how the AV connector connects to the board before I destroyed it. It's also worth mentioning that as well as the video and audio signals, you have to attach the mode pins. In my case, I have to ground these 2 pads. Otherwise, the Xbox will think there's no AV cable connected and it will just not boot. All right, we got audio and video connected. We're getting so close to being able to test this, and hopefully that wiring's correct because it's going to be real hard to get back at it. Another wire broke and I don't know which one it is. Thankfully I made this completely serviceable as long as there's an angle grinder nearby. This time I'm going to spread hot glue all over all the wires. This 30 gauge single core wire is great for soldering to small parts, but it's pretty terrible for snapping off again afterwards. It should be a lot better now. Okay, now it's time for the power supply to go in. I'm making the wires as short as I can because I'm not really sure if this thing's going to heat up and melt the hot glue that I'm going to use to hold it in. The wires can be some extra support. Ow, 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 ow. Everything's so hot. I'm hoping it just needs those 3 wires. There is a power OK wire, which is this blue one here. I'm just going to leave it and see if it's a problem later. Now for the battery management, I'm going to bend these wires down and I'm going to use them as supports because once again, I'm not really sure how hot this thing's going to get. Although I am gluing those wires to something else that I'm not sure how hot it's going to get. Now of course, I haven't really planned where I'm going to put the batteries. I think there's probably room for one down here, maybe another one up here. I don't really want to put all of them up here though because it's going to be really heavy at the top. I'm thinking stuffing another one down in here, but I really need to sort out what's going to happen with this cable first. This blue connector is the one that's supposed to go into the motherboard, not the grey one. But looking up the difference online, it's really just the connectors. So I'm going to try swapping the connectors around and having the motherboard connection in the middle. The grey one has one missing just here, and the one at the other end has a different one missing, which is how the motherboard knows which connector is the master and which one's the slave. It shouldn't actually matter where on the cable the connectors are, as long as they're all connected up correctly. Now I don't have the correct tool to do this, but I've got a little tiny bench vise. It seems to do the job. This is starting to look out of hand. Once I've got a power switch in this thing, I want to give it another test. I really hope this works. I'm going to be beyond devastated if something goes wrong with this. This is our charge port going in here. I figure next to the power switch is as good. Oh, no, that's going to move. As good as a position as any. Oh, wow. Other than covering stuff up, I think the back's done. All right, I am genuinely nervous. There are so many hours in this thing, and it's been so long since I've tested anything. This could go horribly wrong. 3, 2, 1, on. Heaps good. It's not doing anything. Ah, okay. The batteries are flat. I wonder if that's because they're completely dead and I've just permanently attached dead batteries into this, or if they just need charging. Hopefully they just need charging. Well, I've got 12 volts here. I'm gonna plug this. Aw, why can't I plug that in? What about this one? Yay! All right, the batteries are charging, but I should also be able to test this just on the power. Although it's only a 3 amp power supply, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, come on, please, please, please. I forgot to power the screen, so it could be Oh, I didn't do that though. It didn't spin the disc though. Okay, the screen should come on now, but I'm not really expecting it to boot. I think it's that power OK signal. Yeah, we got the screen, but I think I need 3.3 volt on the power OK line. All right, soldering through hot glue was surprisingly easy. Oh, whoops. Except for it didn't work at all. That's better. All right, I'm so confident this is gonna work. I've even connected up the disk drive again. I have to be confident because if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to go and cry myself to sleep and have a look again tomorrow. Ready? I've got the screen on. Why? Please turn. Please, please. All right, it's a new day. I've spent the last hour trying to figure out what's wrong with this, and I found more than one thing. Firstly, I'd forgotten to power the compact flash card, but that still didn't fix it. Then I recrimped the IDE cable about 20,000 times, but that still didn't fix it. Then I soldered one of the original power lights onto the motherboard because this is used to show you whether there's any AV errors or anything like that, but there wasn't an AV error, it was flashing as though the disk tray had been ejected. What I found was that the DVD drive only had 2.5 volts where it was supposed to have 5 volts. Since I can't access the motherboard to try and find out why, I just ran a patch cable connecting 5 volts directly to where that 2.5 volts was. You should never do that. But watch this. Wait a minute, the disc still isn't spinning. Oh! This is the first time I've actually tested it with a disc. This is taking a really long time. I suspect it isn't working. Turns out the DVD drive's died again. It's not resistors this time, all the voltages are good, I tried recapping it even, but no, it's dead. Here's another one. This is a Thompson drive, it's known to be the crappiest one of the lot. The smallest I can get it is also a lot bigger than the other drive. Okay, I think we're gonna be alright. I think we're on the right track again. This L-shaped PCB is pretty much the same as this PCB off the Samsung drive, except this time it's used to extend this ribbon down to this connector. To get rid of this thing, I'm gonna modify a drive cable out of a 3DO console. Peeling this apart worked the last time I tried it, so hopefully it works again. Yeah, look at that. The only thing is, the other end's not the same, but thankfully they didn't change the pin order or anything, so I can just clip the ends off to make it work. I do have to remove this ribbon cable and put the new one on this piece. Soldering is something that this piece of ribbon is absolutely not designed for, but I'm pretty sure I succeeded. Surely it's safe to hot glue this in now. What are the chances of having 2 dead drives in a row? They're only like 1 billion years old. Okay, maybe I'm not super confident. I'm just gonna test this one more time before I put... Oh, it's spinning! Oh, yes! Please, 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 please. Please load. I haven't touched this thing in about 3 weeks because it was very mean to me and wouldn't work properly. So I've recovered from the emotional damage it caused me and I've had another look at it. I discovered 2 things. Firstly, 7 of the 8 untested Xbox drives I bought to fix this thing with don't work. And second, the one that kind of worked didn't work in this because the crimp I'd done on the IDE connector was bad and that's what caused all my problems. Watch this. It's actually booting. Now we are on the home stretch. I just gotta put this thing together. Look at this. I've soft mounted it and everything. That'll give it a little bit of vibration resistance. I am a little bit worried about the length of this ribbon here though. It was really short before and it could pick up some interference from the electronics I've got it running over down there, but hopefully it'll work. I feel like I'm saying hopefully a lot, but you gotta be hopeful, don't you? Because if you're not hopeful, what point is there in doing anything? It works! But we're not playing it just yet. Firstly, look at this masterpiece. This thing gave me so much trouble in every single way. But other than the disk drive, it was almost all my fault. But I've finally had some success with it, and I don't want anything getting in there and shorting it out, and I don't want to shock myself on the thing again either. So I need to give it a plastic housing. In my other videos, everyone's always like, why don't you 3D print a casing for it? So this time, my housing's gonna come off a roll. Except it's this roll. I'm not gonna 3D print a housing, are you insane? I don't want a casing with lines all through it. See, look at that smooth finish. Hey, I reckon I can even keep the original labels for the ports. And the sticky rubber coating. Check that out. That looks like a retail product. Oh, this is turning out awesome. Oh, we definitely need this somewhere. Man, they put these things on real tough. I want this on my Xbox. And it's not. Oh, that's a shame. We can still use it. Yeah, good as new. Feast your eyes upon true portability. It's so neat and tidy. It looks like it could have been bought from the shops. I couldn't cover the heat sinks because they need to radiate heat away, otherwise it's going to overheat, which it might do anyway because I've deleted the fan. I also wanted to keep the compact flash card accessible, although it is very hard to pull out. We've got a power input up here for charging, the power switch in the corner here. This blubber goop is our power light. On the other side, we've got the navigation and volume buttons for the screen. On the bottom, we've got the original ports from the iWhat's-It thing. So we've got 2 headphone ports, a line out, and an S-video port. I've never seen an S-video to headphone jack adapter, so I probably won't use that. I kept one of the memory card ports, so we can use a memory card, at least if you don't need to see that part of the screen. And I stuck the speakers out on the sides here, and now they look like ears. Now it's time for our first proper boot up. Hopefully. Good signs. Yes. That's actually kind of loud and very distorted. Invert thumbstick, yes. It's the only way. There's already a save file on here. Of course there is, it's an Xbox. Let's play Zack. It's working. It's actually working. The screen is so bad, it's really hard for me to see where I'm going. And man, Halo doesn't look as good as I remember. Oh, wait on. Let's unplug the power. We're on batteries. There's no enemies anywhere. Why? Oh, just grenading myself in the face. You have no idea how happy I am that this thing is actually working as intended. Hey, something to shoot. Wait, what's shoot? What's shoot in this thing? Well, I'm out of ammo, so I'm just grenading everything. I never really got into Halo. I played through most of it a long time ago, but then it got to a point where it was like 15 minutes between the respawn point and the spot where I died every single time. I just got over it and left it alone then. Yeah, right, fantastic. Good. Let's just run to the end. I got a plasma grenade. That's good. You can have the plasma grenade. Oh no, there's the plasma grenade. You know, I kind of expected this thing to be on batteries for like 1 minute and then just die. But it's doing it. It's doing it on the batteries. These batteries are from 2006 and they hadn't been used since then. Their own battery controller refused to charge them. Do the enemies not give you ammo in Halo? You're dead. Oh, good. Oh, the controller vibration works. I didn't even realize until just now. I do wonder how much the laser likes the vibration. I wonder if I can turn up the brightness. I can, but it just makes it more washed out. And so does the contrast. I think I've actually made a proper portable Xbox. This has been running on batteries for ages. The fact that I'm right at the beginning of the level is just because I'm not doing very well at the game. Oh, there it goes. All right, that's the battery life. It's saying, something's wrong here. What you doing to me? The Xbox said no. So I've made a portable Xbox. It's an actual real portable Xbox. It says Xbox and it's portable. And it actually works surprisingly well. It's very top heavy. It's wanting to tip that way a lot, but it's not that much less pocket sized than the Switch 2. Ooh, I wonder. It might have just overheated. If this thing has more battery life in it, this will be incredible. Let's try this. Yeah, we got cooling. No, my disc's not good enough. It's got scratches on the back. Unless a flat battery just causes disk read errors, which is definitely possible. Yeah, the battery was flat and the disc stops being able to read once the battery gets below a certain level. The best part is there's no way to know whether it's at the right level because there's no charge meter or even charge light to tell you that the battery's charging. Whoa, I just got an idea. This is gonna be so good. If I plug these controller ports in here, now I've got controller ports 3 and 4, now I can take Steel Battalion with me everywhere. And someone sell me a new Steel Battalion disc because it's been resurfaced too many times and this is not a real one. Yeah, it even runs on batteries. Except for I don't know what I'm looking at here. I need to wash my windscreen. Where do I washing? There we go. Okay, I'm dead. We're done! I made a portable Xbox. We got portable Steel Battalion. This might be the first ever portable Xbox to feature a DVD drive. Yeah, can't help not being the first to make an actual portable Xbox. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video and you want early ad-free access to all my videos, plus at least one exclusive video and a photo of every single thing that I get for my video game collection, because I've been collecting for ages and I'm always getting new stuff and a lot of it's really interesting, then you can join me on Floatplane for $2.50 a month. You can also join for $1 a month if you just want the photos and to be part of my community. The link's in the description. I'll see you there.